On Thursday this week, we had a great one at KICC with the best sportswoman and sportsman of the year being awarded. Beatrice Chebet won it, having had a great performance in Paris, winning gold in the 5,000 meters, that is for the women's side, and also the 10,000 meters for the women's side. She had a brilliant 2024 and also holding the record in the 10,000 meters race. Looking at the other side, we are looking at Emmanuel Wanyonyi. He is the Sawyer Awards Athlete of the Year, and so is the Sportsman of the Year from the awards done on Thursday. And talking about these two individuals, they were in France with one man, Shadrack Maluki, who was there as the chef de mission. He organized how the team prepared here in Kenya, left Kenya, went to Paris and participated and brought us medals and pride. Right now, as we build up to Los Angeles 2028, it all begins with NOC elections, and we are here to talk about that. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Off Pitch. My name is Chris Migwambo. We are having a big conversation. We are counting down to less than 5 days before 29 delegates go to polls to elect the new NOC president, who is taking over from Dr. Paul Tergat. Will it be Shadrack Maluki's team, or will it be that is none other than Francis Mutuku's team? We are going to look at all that. But first, allow me to introduce the NOC presidential candidate, that is Shadrack Maluki, who also doubles up as the Kenya Judo Federation president. Mr. Maluki, always a pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for coming to K24. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well.
Welcome again. How has your campaign been? Right now, we are looking at the final stretch, and we're just hoping that everything is fine from your end and from the other side's end.
Everything looks sharp, and we're doing very well in my campaigns.
Yes.
With my team.
Yes.
But we are not losing the focus because we have a duty to do.
Exactly.
As a country and as a team. So my team is focused in making it to LA. So we are already putting structures in place.
There you have it. We are going to have a deeper conversation. On my far left is none other than Andrew Mudibo. He is the president for Table Tennis Kenya. He is here as a candidate. He is vying for the SG for the second time doing it. Last time he did it, he went against the outgoing SG, Francis Mutuku, but things didn't go his way. He believes that this time round he has to give it another punch. Welcome, SG president, that is, and SG candidate to K24. How has your campaign been, and how different is it from 4 years ago?
Chris, thank you. The campaign, I'll say, just as Maluki has said,
yes,
it has been going on well. And when you talk about a campaign, for us, it is about all inclusivity of all federation heads working together. How it has been different,
yes,
is that this time round is that we are having presidents of federations coming together to work as a team. So for us, as presidents of different federations, we've decided we need to work as a team, as a unit.
Exactly.
That is now the new dawn that we want to bring to all the federations. So what we are bringing on board is we want to make sure that athletes are always at the center. We want to look at issues touching on governance, issues touching on finances, and all those are just part of the pillars that Shadrack Maluki released in his manifesto.
There you have it. We are going to have a big conversation as far as NOC 2025 elections is concerned. But before that, we have to start with the routine of the show, where we have to look at La Liga getting into another round. And there is only one match that will be played later on at 10 p.m. The other matches are already live. Here is the match that will be played at 10 p.m. That is Las Palmas up against Atletico Madrid. And then, of course, tomorrow we are having Valladolid up against Osasuna at 3 p.m. Villarreal up against Real Sociedad, Sevilla up against Alaves, and then, of course, Real Madrid will be seeking to put away that loss against Arsenal when they host Athletic Club at Santiago Bernabeu. Of course, when you talk about fixtures, you have to talk about the table. And as La Liga gets into round of 33, 3, we are looking at the table with Barcelona top there, Real Madrid second, and Atletico Madrid third. And of course, we are talking about 1xBet. 1xBet are giving you an opportunity to place a bet worth 259 shillings. And then, of course, they're going to boost it up to 904 shillings. That is for people who will, that is punters who are going to www.1xbet.co.ke, and you stand a chance of increasing your opportunity of winning. Go to www.1xbet, and of course, you are having football, you're having rugby, you're having basketball. You put all the games together, they add up to around 259 shillings, and then 1xBet will boost it to 900 shillings, and you walk away with your cash. We're taking a short commercial break. When we come back, the conversation is here. I'm having Andrew Mudibo, who is vying for the SG in the NOC elections, and then of course we are having Mr. Maluki, who is vying for the presidential seat in the NOC election to be held on Thursday. They'll be taking us through their manifesto and then what delegates should expect from them if they win. Don't go too far. Welcome back to Off Pitch. We are looking at NOC elections 2025. There are two functions. There is one led by Shadrack Maluki, who is also the Judo Kenya president. And then, of course, there is the one led by the outgoing NOC Secretary General, Francis Mutuku. They will be going head-to-head on Thursday, that is 24th of April, to decide who becomes the next NOC president, and then, of course, the first vice president, the second vice president, the SG, and all other positions as of elections for NOC. But looking at 1xBet, which we are having as our show sponsors, they're reminding you that when you visit www.1xbet.co.ke, you stand a chance of winning up to 900 shillings if you play with bet worth 259 shillings. And then, of course, they're having a promo code, the promo code KETV APR25. You stand a chance of going forward and ensuring that you win. Mr. Maluki, let's start with you. Everyone out there will be asking, Mr. Maluki has been around for 8 years as the first vice president. Right now, you want to be the NOC president. Why are you vying to be the NOC president?
Good question. I'm currently the first deputy president of the National Olympic Committee of Kenya. Our deputy is Dr. Paul Tergat, who has done his 2 terms as the president. We've been working very well closely with Dr. Paul Tergat. We've achieved a lot together. With also the team, I must admit, with the entire team, because the kind of legacy that which is being left behind by Tergat, yes, and the team, including myself, yes, is what I want first to procure. I want to ensure that there's continuity. Yes. And more so, because you also read my manifesto. Yeah. It's athlete-centered. My manifesto and my team, it's about ensuring that the athlete is at the center of it. So the new dawn, which is now the team coming to protect or to procure Dr. Paul Tergat's legacy, is a new dawn. We are bringing the Dr. Paul Tergat's 10 years achievements, put it together with the New Dawn's vision, and look at achieving more for this country.
You've talked about your manifesto, and front page, the first thing anyone will read is servant leadership.
Yes.
How are you going to apply this to the athletes you've talked about, and of course to everyone who wants to be part and parcel of National Olympic Committee of Kenya?
To achieve this objective or goal, first and foremost, I ensure that I put a team together which has interest in athletes. Which team is that? It's all the presidents of different federations. Yes. Putting them together because they have an interest. They have something that they protect, and that is the athlete. They are athlete-driven. So we have Andrew Mudibo here. I'll start with him here, who is the machine of every day. Yes. Yeah? Yes. The guy who is the glue, you know. He's the president of table tennis in Kenya. Yes. He's also African chairman in charge of development, table tennis. Yes. He's also in the world body. He has a lot to lose if he doesn't get it right in the National Olympic Committee of Kenya. I will also go to my first deputy president, who is Barnabas Correo from Athletics Kenya. He's in charge of youth development programs. Number 3 is Colonel retired Nashon Radiek, president of hockey. Yes. Yeah, and he's still the president of hockey. Then you come to Secretary General. I've introduced him. Yeah. The Deputy Secretary General is Dr. Karugu, who is in charge of Secretary General, in charge of the University Games. Yeah. Yeah. Then after that we have the Treasurer, who is the President of Fencing, who is Chege, Fred Chege. Then after Chege we have Charles Mose of cycling. Yeah. Then you go now to the membership, 3 members. Yeah. We have first member is Sasha, the president of rugby. Yeah. We have president of Taekwondo, who is Major Retired Sumba. Then we have Joycelyn, the president of Triathlon. Then after that, we have also commissions, which are very vital, especially the commission, the commission of medical. The commission of medical, knowing where we are in terms of doping, I deliberately brought on board the president of baseball. Dr. Tetas Muturi. So Muturi is being a medic and a professor in medicine. He is the right person to ensure that he holds the team together, educates it, and ensures that Kenya is in a safe place, because we are not in a very good place. So he has a moral obligation to ensure that he educates athletes, managers, and everybody, stakeholder, to ensure that we stick on the line of not being banned, or even coming anywhere close to that, and or even pulling us out of that area of suspicion. So we've assembled a team of men and women of integrity who have the sportsmen and women of this country at heart. We want to take the sport of our sport to the next level, and the generations to come will actually judge us. Will say there was a dream team. Because if my team can't take it to the next level, I don't think there will be another team like this.
Exactly. That is the same statement you said when you were launching the New Dawn Fresh NOC. But looking at now, about 2-3 days ago, Barnaba Korir was nominated and endorsed by the Athletics Kenya Federation. He talked about how big that responsibility was, and then two, he has talked about now building on what athletics has done for Kenya if elected as your vice. Are you also coming in with building on everything that Dr. Paul Tergat did in the last 8 years, or you want to start a fresh NOC the same way your tagline runs?
Dr. Paul Tergat had a vision and a mission. He laid a very firm foundation. He laid with a team, just the way I have my team. I am not going to start a new foundation. I want to build on what Dr. Tergat has built. I want to grow from there with this team. We will need to just put more energy. We would have done better. I'm not saying we've not done better, but now I've learned from the best. That's your first question you asked me. Why do I want to be the one after serving 8 years? It's because I've learned from the best. I am now more equipped with the knowledge. And Dr. Tergat is not going anywhere. He is going to be honorary president. So you can imagine me having been his deputy, and he is there in the New Dawn team. We will take it to the skies. We will take it to the skies. And I'm telling the Kenyans and sportsmen and women of this country, we have the best team ever assembled.
Maluki is saying New Dawn team Fresh NOC is the biggest team and the best team to be elected in the forthcoming NOC elections. We're taking a short commercial break. We're still here with Mr. Andrew Mudibo. He will be taking us through his campaign tactics and also how he wants to get it right when the polls take place next week, Thursday. Don't go too far. We'll be here for the second part of this conversation. Welcome back to Off Pitch. We are talking about NOC elections 2025. In the next 5 days, 29 delegates will be going to polls to decide the next NOC president, the next first vice president, second vice president, SG, and also committee members as far as the elections are concerned. But the sponsors for our show are reminding you that when you go to www.1xbet.co.ke, you stand a chance of winning up to 900 shillings. That is if you play multi-bet of around 259 shillings with the promo code KETV, and then of course APR25, you stand a chance of going out there and winning. So go to www.1xbet.co.ke and stand a chance of winning. Mr. Mudibo, let me rope you into this conversation. You, the presidential candidate, has talked about you being the man who will be running the show for fresh NOC. How are you prepared for this position, and how huge is it going again for another round, having not gotten it 4 years ago, but this time round having this team?
First of all, I'll say that working with this team is, for me, it is a godsend. And like we all say, even for me to be here in terms of moving forward, in terms even of the elections, for me it is through the grace of God, and I'll repeat it again, it's through the grace of God that we are all working together as a team for each and every position. How is it different for us? How are we going to work? We are going to work as a team in terms of us, all of us being servant leaders. For us, we will work as your servants. We will not work as your bosses. For us, is the athletes will always be the number one, under the pillars that have been put there in the manifesto. That is what we are promising to Kenya, that's what we want to achieve. Now, I cannot achieve everything on my own. It's a team effort. Each and every position is interlinked together. If we go separate ways, where President Maluki works on his own, I work on my own, then that is not, it's not a united house. It will be a very disorganized, disjointed Olympic body. Now, before, maybe how things were being done is that you'd pick a few officials and form the Olympic Committee. Now, you cannot tell me the Olympic Committee is only for a few people. The Olympic Committee is for everybody. It's not just even the federation, it's even for you to be there as a member of the Olympic Committee. There's a role that you can always be able to play. And that is what we are looking at in terms of the new dawn. Now, when you talk about new dawn, that is it's something that pushes us to the next level. Even when we come in on the 24th, new dawn will still continue. New dawn started in 2017. Paul Targat was part of the new dawn. Paul Targat is still part of the new dawn. Maluki is picking up from Paul Targat. The new dawn continues. Issues of development. Development just doesn't happen within a day. It doesn't happen within 4 years. It takes long. I have stood for these NOC elections for position of Secretary General, and before that committee member. I'll say I've done around 4 times. It takes an effort to be there. You don't lose hope because you lost. As they always say, God's time is always the best. And it's always good to walk with God. You don't run ahead of God or walk away from God. You let God guide you. And I believe this team has been guided by God in each and every aspect. We believe we will be able to give back to the athletes. We'll be able to serve the athletes. We'll be able to work out in terms of infrastructure within schools, within the setup that is there. We'll be able even to work out in terms of governance within federations and within the sporting structure in Kenya. And I also know, and I believe under the leadership of Maluki, that yes, we shall get that financing that is required, and also partnerships with government and other partners for the Olympic movement in Kenya to be one which all of us can be able to hold it as a heritage for Kenya. We want each and every Kenyan to own the Olympic movement. And that is where we are driving it. And that will be my work in terms of the Secretary General together with the rest of the committee members.
Exactly. Mr. President, just looking at now, you are the chef de mission for Team Kenya to Paris 2024. There are lessons you learned, and of course, looking at that team, we had about 75–80% of the gold medal we got was from the women's side. in your manifesto, in your leadership, how are you going to rope in the women, and what are some of the plans you have for women athletes, both in your office and also on the pitch?
Yeah, thank you very much. In Paris 2024, I was the chef de mission, and there is so much that I learned from the leadership of those games. First, I will start with the preparation of the games. It's very important through the pathway to the Olympics. Like now, let's talk about LA 2028.
Yeah.
Some federations have their pathway opened already. And if it wasn't for these elections, we'll be actually working on these pathways. We are late.
Yeah.
I must say that. Early preparations is quite important for any team, for any country to perform in the Olympics, because that's the epitome.
Yeah.
That is the climax of everything, of the sports. So I must say what I learned is that early planning, early preparations are key to any nation that means to achieve its objectives in the sense of harvesting medals.
Yeah.
So we tried the best we can in Paris Olympics preparations, and my watch. I know that if we finish these elections on 24th and we get to the office, we'll start preparing for LA like it's happening tomorrow. We'll look into the pathways of the pathway route of all the federations. We get the calendar of events to start understanding each federation, how it's doing, and then engage the government. Because we cannot say that we can just do it ourselves. We need to put the government of the Republic of Kenya at the center of this. We need, because government is the one which is funding. Government is the one that prepares the team. So we will be working with the government in every step, in every way, to ensure that the transparency is there. The government understands how we are going, what we are going, and what we are doing. Because we are doing it for our country, our beloved nation, called Kenya. Which has a president. So we cannot isolate ourselves and say that we are just an Olympic movement and we are not going to have government on board. Government has the biggest stake in this. So some people take a lot of time blaming the government. Oh, government this, oh, government that. But you have not talked to the government. You have not involved with the government. Government doesn't know. Who is government? Government is you and me. So we have not involved with the government. We don't. They are in darkness. Then when the results come and they are not appealing, we start saying, government did not support us. Oh, government did not do this. This is where we go wrong. We need to ensure that government is in it from the word go. And that is what we are going to do as a team. My team is very good with the government so far. We are working with the government, even when the elections are not there, because as I said, they are all federation heads. So each president, each member of my team, in his own way, is engaging the government, because he's a leader of a federation. So we will now collectively sit down on a round table with the government and say, for us to achieve better in our in the end result in LA, this is what we need to do. This is the budget, and these are the athletes, and they require A, B, C, D for them to perform better. So that will be my key when I set my eyes on that seat.
The women factor in your
The women factor. Of course, we need to empower women. The entire world is empowering women. We are not going to be left behind as a country. And we have seen the potential. I was the chef de mission, and I saw the potential of the women. They came out there and they won the medal, the medals for my country. And I think I will embark on that, but I'm not going to leave also the boy child behind. You know? Sure. I won't leave the boy child behind. So what we are going to embark on with my team, it is more into ensuring that the youth programs are running in all the federations. That is where the secret is. The people used to say they are briefcase federations or that. That's a narrative which we want to kill. Those federations which are being called so, it's because they don't have resources. They actually don't have a plan. you know, simply because of lack of resources.
Yes.
But when you have resources, you get to, you plan. You get to understand where you are going to go from point A. But when you don't have anything, you can't even know where you are. Exactly. You can't even know whether you are in point A.
Exactly.
You could be in minus A.
Yes.
let me just add something that...
Yes.
Go ahead.
Under the leadership and part of the team is
Yes.
that we also have a position for women representative,
yes.
which Mudibo Waweru, who comes from volleyball, is there.
Yeah.
We've also got the athlete female representative. And then I know in this election that we are going to, in the annual general meeting of the Congress, there's a proposal that has been put forward to sort of like co-opt gender based on the numbers that are there. If
Yeah.
it is more men, then we bring in more women.
Yeah.
If it is more women, then more men will be brought in to balance it.
Yeah.
Now, when you look at it, if you want women to grow,
Yeah.
you must also be ready to give them positions within administrative structures for them to be able to grow, for them to be able to run programs. And that is what we are also pushing as a team, that these women will always be there to help us out.
Yeah.
If you look at some of the commissions that have been set up,
Yeah.
we've appointed women to head those commissions, which has never happened before. And those are powerful positions.
Exactly.
And we believe these women will create a big difference.
Yeah.
If you have the IOC president being a lady,
Yeah.
why shouldn't we do also the same in Kenya?
Exactly. And you've talked about the IOC president, Coventry. Mr. President, you are Mr. President and you are Mr. Presidential hopeful.
Yes.
You hold both, let me not be quoted, having already made you the president.
You're not wrong.
We are looking at now Coventry as the IOC president.
Yes.
You are vying, if elected as the president. How are we going to tap on this? How big is this opportunity for Kenya? And just generally, athletes who you've talked about in your manifesto being the center of everything.
This is a big opportunity for us as a continent. Let me not even limit it to our country.
Yes.
It's a very huge opportunity we have here because we need to start seeing many Africans on the podium. We need to start see, and she understands that. She's also under pressure, as much as she's also going to put us under pressure.
Yes.
It is not a very nice position to be.
Yes.
But she's the leader of IOC. She comes from Africa. She's from Zimbabwe.
Yes.
The world will be watching her closely to see what she's going to do for our continent.
Yes.
So she knows that pressure is on her because she's a former athlete.
Yeah.
As far as we are concerned, once we are elected,
Yeah.
it's also a good opportunity to engage her because she would love to see that, people engaging her.
Yeah.
So that if you have deficiency in terms of scholarships, in terms of training, then she can facilitate.
Yes.
Yeah? It won't come just when you are sitting here. You have to engage.
Exactly.
So we will be looking forward to engaging her. And that is again where Paul Tedegat comes in handy. He's a member of IOC.
Yeah.
He's not going to stop from here. And he's also going to be honorary president of National Olympic Committee of Kenya. So he comes in handy. We are going to loop him in and work with him closely so that we go back to the athlete. We ensure that the athlete gets what he needs to perform better in the Olympics.
Exactly.
So this is an opportunity for us as a continent. So we are going to engage as the leaders of the continent to have several meetings with her and ensure that we don't lose, we look at the bigger picture and ensure that we tap from her.
And talking about the elections that we are looking at now, Mr. Mudibo, about 7 years ago, I don't know if you can remember, you two had one famous press conference and you're just questioning the credibility of the electoral board. As we build up towards the election right now, how pleased are you with the electoral board, the elections, and you have faith that the outcome of this year's NOC elections, you will come on the podium and shake the hand of the winner? And if you win, the loser will also come and shake your hand.
I'll say this time round, it's the IEBC that is doing it.
Yes.
Before, it was not the IEBC. And I think I'd even say before, even the electoral board that was put there, it was against the constitution of NOC. Because the NOC constitution says that it's an independent electoral board that will work it. When you look at the Kenyan constitution, the only independent electoral board is the IEBC. It's not a pinky thing where you go and pick somebody and you just put.
Yes.
But for now, as we move forward, so far, so good. We can say it is successful when the election is done.
Yes.
When the election is been done properly, then you'll be able to shake your opponent's hand.
Yeah.
Because all of you would have seen that it was fair, whereby there was no sides where in this case, let's say the electoral board will not be taking sides. And I know IEBC right now is under a lot of pressure. They would not want to mess up in terms of the election itself. I know it's a very small election in terms of the numbers, where it's only 29 votes.
Yeah.
But it's 29 votes, which the value is so high.
Yeah.
I think even the NOC elections, sporting elections sometimes are more difficult than even the parliamentary elections. Because here you are dealing with only a very few people. It's a matter of trust. They either lie to you or they believe in you.
Yeah.
And in some other instances where, like other sports, you'd see on the eve of the elections, you are taken away. Your vote is lost. So I don't think that will happen here.
Yeah.
But here, it is a matter of just having, it's a matter of principle, because these are leaders. These are presidents, they are secretary generals. All of us are leaders. We all hold principles in different accounts.
Sure.
We are all leaders of different federations. We have to be held at the highest level in terms of honesty, in terms of integrity, in terms of how the elections are done.
Yeah.
We cannot start playing some funny games. And like I had said before, the National Olympic Committee is an umbrella body. All federations are supposed to be served equally within the Olympic body. And that is what we are looking at. And that is what is happening so far. And I think we have built that, all of us as federations.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, this is our home. You don't burn your home.
Exactly.
We build it up and improve on it.
Mr. Maluki, in your manifesto, you talked about the state of infrastructure, and the first place you called out was City Park. City Park was closed, I think, last year. We were there when the Africa hockey president and also the World Hockey president was here. They said the state of the stadium wasn't good. Today, it is still closed, despite the national team the other day were training there, but it's in a pathetic form.
Yeah.
How quick are you promising the delegates, the people who love hockey like me, and also Randiek out there and the likes of Butali Warrior players, that once you get in there, you are going to change things for them?
Yeah, I'm also passionate about hockey. I was in All Africa Games in Cairo 91 as an athlete.
Yes.
And we had a very good team of hockey, which did marvelous.
Yeah.
And they had good infrastructures, starting from Kisumu, City Park.
Yes.
We had beautiful infrastructure. What, as I said earlier, we need to engage government. We need to show seriousness in infrastructure, and minus in infrastructure, how that will affect the athlete. Because we can talk about athlete, but then when we don't look at the infrastructure, then we are not doing anything good to the athlete.
Exactly.
We are not heading anywhere.
Yeah.
So we need to equip the athlete first with the tools of his trade or our trade.
Yeah.
And the tools of an athlete is, first of all, the infrastructure.
Yeah.
You give the athlete the infrastructure, and then the rest will now be technical.
Exactly.
Yeah, you now be addressing the technical issues. And that is where the technical bench that we are putting together in NOC, when we get to the office, we will now be pushing it to ensure that the performance of the athlete is up to date because of technology. You must embrace technology. But you can't embrace technology when there is no infrastructure. So we will be working closely with the government to ensure that the infrastructure is in place and in good time, and City Park is part of it. And how are we going to do it? Kano retired Radiek, the president of hockey, is my second deputy president.
Yes.
He's in my team.
Yes.
So we will address the issues of hockey, and not only hockey, all other federations that are working in the new dawn, to ensure that the government sees the importance of that, what we are doing. I'm sure it does, but it has to be addressed holistically. you cannot just also give government some ambiguous budgets.
Exactly.
You know, you must sit down with the government, because government has also other areas it has to look, healthcare, for other sectors. Yeah, sports is not the only thing, but you must sit down with the government holistically, sit down, draw the budgets, and agree on the mode of operations.
Exactly.
Yeah. So my team will be working closely with the government to ensure within the next 4 years, the infrastructure, the welfare, and the focus of the athlete is addressed.
You know, let me just add in terms of what Maluki has said. It's not just even the infrastructure that we'll be looking at. We're also looking at capacity building of officials. We're also looking capacity building of coaches. Like, for example, if you go and look at boxing.
Yes.
We want them to be able to be improved in terms of, like, if it's a coaching, what are the new scoring methods that are being used? Now, when he talks about, for example, the incapacity that sometimes that some of us have, is where you'll find, I am the president of the federation, I am the coach of that federation, I am the team doctor of that federation. So we have to put in capacity so that this thing can be able to grow sports. This sports has to go down to the community level. Volunteer, where sports start is first at the volunteer level. That's where you get your leaders. That's where you get people who will come in and help you for the sports to grow.
And real quick, Mr. President, as we finish, there has been an outcry that there is one person from every federation who should be having that vote. And you need unity and you need all the votes. Maybe what will be your message to the federation heads, president, chairman, who are at loggerheads with the secretary generals as we head to the polls? Because each one of you, both you and Francis Mutuku, need those votes. If the SecGen pulls this side and the president this side, we are going to have not so good looking elections.
I would say that is divisive politics, which should not be practiced in the sports, because what happens is, when you bring divisive politics in a federation, the elections takes only 1 day. But what happens after the elections? That division remains for a long time. And when that division persists, it affects the very athlete who we are supposed to be growing.
10 seconds, talk to the delegates.
I'm telling the delegates that you should be united. You should actually vote with your mind, knowing that this is a talent, and the talent is given by God. If you don't do so, what happens is you're going to kill that talent of this individual, and you're going to get a curse from our Father in heaven. Just know this is a calling, and vote with your mind, knowing that you are responsible for the athletes of this nation called Kenya. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Mudibo. 10 seconds. Why are you going to be the heart of this fresh NOC?
I'll be, you can say the heart, but I am a team player. And I believe as a team player, we are all the heart of this new change that is there, which is a new dawn. And with that one, I believe we will work as a team. We still need to work as a team, even for federations who will not have been elected into the Olympic body.
Thank you so much, Mr. Shadrack Maluki.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Andrew Mudibo, for coming.
You.
We wish you all the best. We hope you're going to have a peaceful, free, fair, and credible elections.
Amen.
And I hope to see you on the other side. Of course, as a sportsman, you want always to meet people on the winning side. Asante Nisade.
To be hosted here again on the 24th.
Yes.
With new titles. That
exactly. Yes. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming on.
We look forward to seeing you again.
Asante sana.
Asante.
There you have it. We've been talking with Shadrack Maluki, who is the NOC presidential candidate, and Andrew Mudibo, who is also the SG hopeful or a candidate also. They are vying in the upcoming NOC elections set for 24th of April here in Nairobi. We are looking at having a new office taking over from Dr. Paul Tergat. Thank you so much for watching Off Pitch. My name is Chris Migwambo. Stay around because Bentura Kwamboka is coming up with the latest in the world of news. Have a good night.